Here's the question. Is Donald Trump a Christian? He says he is. Millions of Christians say he is. But what does that really mean? And maybe more importantly, what does that even say about how we define this thing called Christianity?
I want to just say, we love you, God.
Hey everyone, I'm Jim. This is Running for Donuts. In this video, we're talking about Donald Trump. Specifically, is Donald Trump a Christian? So Running for Donuts, that's the name of this series. I'm training for a marathon on November 2nd, and each week I have to do 2 strength training workouts as a part of my marathon training. And if I do them, I get a donut. The running I tend to do, the strength training in the past, I have never really done. So the question this week will be, do I get a donut? Okay, the question is Donald Trump a Christian? There's 2 questions. I'm most interested in the donut one, but let's start with the Donald Trump one. Let's start with Trump himself, what he said, where he's been, and how he's used religion.
Most importantly, I brought my Bible.
Okay.
I'm a Sunday church person.
Interesting.
I want to just pray for Arnold, if we can, for those ratings.
Wait, what?
I was saved by God to make America great again.
So that's Trump in his own words, but words are one thing, practice is another. What does Trump's religious life actually look like? He grew up attending First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, Queens with his family. Later in the 70s, the family shifted to Marble Collegiate Church, where Trump heard all about the power of positive thinking from Norman Vincent Peale. His first 2 weddings were at this church in 1977 and 1993. In 2002, Paula White became a close confidant and personal pastor. Years later, 2016, the infamous James Dobson would credit Paula White with, quote, converting Trump to Christianity. In 2015, Trump said that he still attended Marble Collegiate Church, though the church made a statement that he is not an active member. In 2016, he considered himself a Presbyterian and a Protestant, but by 2020, he had shifted to non-denominational, which technically is still Protestant. In June 2020, he cleared out a group of peaceful protesters so he could have a photo op holding a Bible in front of St. John's Church, and in 2024, he began selling his own Bible, the God Bless the USA Bible. In 2025, he posted an AI-generated image of himself as the Pope. So much for Protestant or non-denominational, I guess. But here's the thing. Being a Christian isn't about how often you show up in church or whether you can quote 2 Corinthians correctly.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game.
Let's pause on Trump for a minute and ask this question. What doesn't make someone a Christian? It's not about going to church on Sundays. It's not about carrying your Bible around for some photo op. It's not about avoiding sinning and watching out for R-rated movies and making sure you never swear and making sure you don't have sex before you're married. It's not about any of that. And I'm sure if it was about that, none of us would be qualified either. You see, being a Christian is not about sin management. It's not even about believing all the right things, because all the right things seems to keep changing and shifting all throughout Christian history. Okay, but then what does it mean to be a Christian? The word Christian literally means little Christ, and it wasn't even a title that they gave to themselves, but it was a title given to them by the community around them. It was in Antioch, you read about this in the book of Acts, that these people who were following Christ, followers of Jesus, they seemed to be just living the way of Jesus. They said, hey, you look a little bit like that Jesus Christ person you keep talking about. We'll call you little Christs. Christians. You're not a Christian if you go to church. You're not a Christian if you read the Bible, though you can totally do those things. They're great. You're a Christian if you look like Christ, if you act like Jesus. What would Jesus do? Jesus actually said something about this in the book of John. He says, they'll know you're my disciples by the way you love one another. If you're not loving one another, I don't know if you can call yourself a follower of Jesus, a little Christ, a Christian. And this all brings us back to this video's big question. Is Donald Trump a Christian?
I believe in God. I am Christian.
The Bible actually gives us a way to talk about this without it just being my opinion versus everyone else's opinion. Matthew 7 says, you will know them by their fruit. A thorn bush can't produce grapes and thistles can't produce figs. One way to tell the health of a tree is looking at the health of the fruit. Good fruit, healthy tree. Not so good fruit, we got something going on there. Or if you flip over a few pages to the book of James, we hear it say, faith without works is dead. It's not about what you believe in your head, not about what you say with your mouth. It's about what you do with your life. Not that the things you do are what make you a Christian or get you good with God, but those are the ways that the fruit is being produced. That you are a tree bearing good fruit, that you are just naturally expressing a life of what it means to follow this guy named Jesus. So is Donald Trump a Christian? You can decide how you want to answer that question, but maybe the better question is, what kind of fruit is the tree bearing? What kind of things are coming out of your life? Love, justice, compassion, empathy. If you've got the fruit of the Spirit, well then, put whatever label on it you want. That's some good fruit. You see, faith is like training for a marathon. It's not about the gear you buy or the goals you set. Those can be good, but the point is getting out there and going on a run, the daily practice, the long obedience in the same direction. So, is Trump a Christian? That's not the question. The question is, how are you running the race? Okay, now that we've settled that one, let's get back to the donut question. Do I get my donut? Which really is a question of, what did I do for workouts this week? All right, let's see. 800-meter intervals. Drop the kids off at school and Kroger run.
We want to pump you up.
School pickup. Time to run home. Long run. Early school pickup run. School drop-off run. School pickup run. School drop-off run.
We want to pump you up.
School pickup run. 5-mile trail race. Boys. That's right, you saw them, 2 workouts, which means... Let's be honest, the donuts are the real reason I'm making these videos. I mean, I could just make videos. I do. But it's really fun when there's this personal incentive of eating a donut. All right, let's do it again. Next week, we're talking about... Why am I still a Christian? That's going to be a fun one. All right, see you next week when we keep running for donuts.